as they say goodbye to the Kansas City Royals for 2009. On the hill for the Tribe today, Carlos Carrasco. And let's get a look at Trey Hillman's starting lineup. For the Royals today, David DeJesus, the left fielder, leads it off, followed by Willie Bloomquist, the second baseman. Billy Butler hitting third is at first. Mike Jacobs, Alberto Callaspo, and Mitch Meyer occupy the middle of the Royals order. And John Buck getting the start today, along with Luis Hernandez and Josh Anderson.
On the mound, Carlos Carrasco making his third start this year. He has been roughed up in his first 2 starts. He's given up 5 homers in his 8 innings and also 17 hits. So trying to find a little better location today and mix his pitches up a little better. The defense behind him this afternoon, sponsored by Honda, looks like this. It'll be Laporta in left, Brantley in center, Chuas in right. Peralta at third, Cabrera at short, Valbuena at second, Marte at first, Torregas behind the plate.
Calling the balls and strikes today will be Ron Culpa, crew chief Dale Scott at first, Mike Esterbrook at second, Jerry Meals down at third. DeJesus stands in, and the first pitch from Carlos Carrasco is in there for a called strike. 69 degrees, our game time temperature here in downtown Cleveland. Beautiful blue skies, just a light breeze blowing in from left. One hopper to first, backhanded nicely by Marte. One down here in inning number 1.
Little backhanded stop here by Marte. That's a tester for you. The first hitter of the ball game makes the backhanded play, steps on first, 1 out.
Brings up Willie Bloomquist. Went 2 for 5 last night with a double. Now 5 for his last 10 as he's hit in 3 straight games.
Bloomquist today playing second base.
And he lines this one into center field, so he stays red hot with the bat. Today's injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Friedman, Damiano, and Smith. When you're injured, depend on them. Friedman, Damiano, and Smith online at fdslaw.com. Here you go, look at the Indians' injury list. Nothing really new to report there for the Royals. Mark Teahan, day-to-day with that lower back stiffness. Gilmesh and Brian Bannister done for the season. Billy Butler, 2 for 9 in the series. 1 for 4 last night, drove in a run with a base hit. Butler has hit in 8 straight, 16 for 34 during his streak. And Carrasco pours a fastball in there for a strike. Check out our league leaders brought to you by the Indians Team Shops.
Well, you know, when you're talking about Butler, you can see RBI since the break. He's had a nice year, 40 RBI, and also he has 45 doubles.
Here's the set by Carrasco. And he pushes him back off the plate. I'm sure when the season began, Trey Hillman did not design the ball club so that Willie Bloomquist would lead the team in steals. But that's who the leading stolen baseman is for Kansas City, due to the injury to Coco Crisp that has knocked him out for most of the season.
Yeah, Coco was the leadoff man in center field, had his shoulder problems, so he was going to be the table setter. But, you know, Bloomquist would have been a great addition to hit maybe 9th in that lineup if Coco was in there, because you have speed at the top and the bottom.
Down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carlos Carrasco came over from the Phillies in the Cliff Lee trade. He got him picked off, and he's gone. Bloomquist is retired.
Yeah, he tried to get that one extra step, and Carrasco ends up turning to go to first, and he is a dead duck.
So 2 down and a 2-2 count on Billy Butler. And Carrasco fires, and a breaking ball swung on and missed. So a good first inning for Carlos Carrasco. And now the Indians behind Asdrubal Cabrera coming to bat. Indians come to bat here in the bottom of the first against Kyle Davies. The starting 9 for Eric Wedge, brought to you by Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Michael Brantley, Asdrubal Cabrera, Shin-Soo Choo. Then Johnny Peralta, who was 2 for 4, drove in 4 last night. Hafner and Valbuena, Laporta, Marte, and Torregas rounded out. Fastball strike outside corner to Michael Brantley. His first career 4-hit game last night.
Kyle Davies making the start for the Royals. His second start against the Indians this year. He had one way back on April 14th, and it was a winning effort. He went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits and 3 runs. Royals ended up winning that game 9-3.
Now the 1-2 to Brantley. Outside 2-2. Only Carlos Baerga has had a 4-hit game at a younger age for the Indians than Michael Brantley. Full count. Brantley at 22 years old. Baerga had a 4-hit game against the Yankees in September of 1990 at the age of 21. Payoff pitch. Big chopper behind the bag fair. Butler.
Nice play.
Nice flip to the pitcher, Davies, for out number 1.
Let's check out the Kansas City defense behind Davies today. It's DeJesus, Anderson, and Meyer in the outfield. Calespo, Hernandez, Bloomquist, Butler on the infield with Buck behind the plate. And a nice play to start this game out by Billy Butler. So both first basemen were tested on the leadoff hitter of the game. Davies making his 22nd start. He was sent down for quite a while. Called back up on June 2nd.
Asdrubal Cabrera tried to hold up. Did he go? They appeal. He did. Strike 1. As Drubel 3 for 9 had a couple of doubles in the series.
This is Davies' 8th start since his recall. It was back on August 5th, excuse me. His 22nd start of the year. He's won his last 3. And he's pitched very well on the road for the Royals this year.
Hit the bag, bare hand grab by Butler, and the flip to the bag. How do you do?
You talk about getting tested. Back-to-back plays. Look at Butler laughing. That ball hit the base.
It was either great instincts or just plain old luck. But Butler made a terrific grab here on the carom.
Now, normally when that hits the base, it's going to ricochet one way or the other. That one pretty much bounced straight up. And that's the break that he got. It looked like it hit right in the middle of the bag. It didn't hit a corner. Hit right in the middle of the bag and bounced straight up. That's what you call a Sunday room service hop. It's off the base.
It's going to be my day.
It's going to be my day. You know what? Keep your eye open. It might be.
Shin-Soo Choo knocked back off the plate. You're right. Usually when it hits the bag, it does something crazy.
Oh, yeah, it goes left, it goes right. It never comes straight up in the air.
Too low. 2 balls and a strike. Shin-Soo Choo, 3 out of 7. Tripled in the series opener. Homered last night. A strike is called, and the count is even at 2-2. Full count. If you look at Shin-Soo Choo's numbers over his last 42 games, the average very impressive at 30-33. But only 21 runs batted in on 2 homers. He strikes out, inning over. No score after 1. Continental Airlines, official airline of the Cleveland Indians. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. By McCafe Coffees at McDonald's, all made to order with fresh ground espresso beans. And by All Care Dental Indentures, we make seeing the dentist easy. Second inning here at Progressive Field. Mike Jacobs leading off for Kansas City, the Royals' designated hitter. 1 for 8 in the series, 4 strikeouts. And it's quickly 0-2.
The thing I like about Carrasco this afternoon, already 11 pitches but 9 strikes.
Now the 2-strike offering. And a ground ball into the teeth of that shift. Valbuena will throw him out. 1 down. Here's a look at the Alltel Text Bowl question of the game. Who do you think will be the Indians' opening day starting pitcher next year? Well, we're putting you in the forecasting booth. Fausto Carmona, Justin Masterson, Laffey, Westbrook, somebody else. Text your answer to 31962. We'll look at the results later on. Here is Alberto Calespo. And it's outside for ball 1. Down low, 2 balls and no strikes. Eric Wedge acknowledged that Carrasco has to do a better job with his location. Importantly, when he's behind in the count, he can't just groove a fastball. That ball's hit pretty well to left, but Laporta backing up will make the catch. 2 down. If there's an engagement in your future, check out Alvin's Jewelers Pray for Rain promotion. You buy your engagement ring at Alvin's. If it rains on your wedding day, that engagement ring is free. Log on to alvinsjewelers.com or stop by for all the details. 2 down as Mitch Meyer steps in. Meyer 1 out of 8 in the series. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Quality strikes is something they've tried to really talk to Carrasco about. Sometimes you might get away with pitches that catch too much of the plate in the minor leagues. But in the big leagues, especially when you've got a hitter down on the count, they'd rather Carrasco make that pitch on the edge or even a little bit off the plate.
Right.
You don't want to catch too much of the plate and give up those 2 strike hits. Or, you change the balance of the at-bat and turn it back to the hitter.
You can afford to do that, make that perfect pitcher just off the outside edge when you're ahead in the count. You can't do that when you're behind. You have to get more of the plate.
Back to the mound. Carrasco will throw him out. 1, 2, 3 go the Royals. And we'll go to the bottom of the second, no score. Kyle Davies to lead off the second inning. Peralta has gone 4 for 9 in the series. Drove in 4 runs last night. Down low, 2 balls and no strikes.
One thing you want to do with Kyle Davies pitching, you want to be patient as a hitter. He is averaging 4.5 walks per 9 innings this year. It's almost 1 every 2 innings. Coming into today, 60 walks in his 117 innings, and that's been his problem because, you know, it limits his innings because he has thrown so many pitches. But when he does get strikeouts, he fares well.
And a 4-pitch walk to start the bottom of the second for the Tribe. Home runs by the Indians means more money for a charity very near and dear to our heart, the Gathering Place, a wonderful caring community that helps individuals and their family members both by offering programs free of charge as they navigate their way through the battle against cancer. You can make a donation. Log on to touchedbycancer.org. So far, we've raised over $8,800. Great Clips donating $50 per dinger. Rick and I tossing in $5 each per home run. Travis Hafner takes a strike. He's 3 for 8 in the series. Got off to a great 3 for 5 start. Up high. I think I said Hafner was 3 for 5 in the series, actually 3 for 10. He was 3 for 5 in the opener and then 0 for 5 last night.
Yeah, he's the only starter that didn't get a knock in that ball game out of the 17 hits that they had. But somebody has to make the outs.
Two-one delivery. Swung on and missed. Got him to chase a fastball, maybe a bit high.
Yep, above the belt. That was probably a ball.
And the 2-2. That time he laid off. Full count. Leadoff man aboard here in the second as Peralta is down at first. Hafner looking at a 3-2 count, and Luis Valbuena patiently waiting on deck.
Well, I would think that Eric would start Peralta here, figuring Hafner's going to put it in play.
There goes the runner, and the ball hit in the air to left field. De Jesus back, and Peralta will retreat. One away.
Well, calling all you students, come on back. Back to school day here will be Thursday, September 24th. The Tigers are in town. If you bring your student ID, you receive half off upper reserve, upper box, and lower reserve bleacher tickets. So that'll be Thursday, September 24th, student ID night.
Luis Valbuena 1 out of 5 in the series. Little tapper up along first. Butler scoops it, tags him. 2 down, Peralta to second base. That'll bring up Matt Laporta. Laporta sat out last night's game as Eric Wedge wanted to give him a day off just to recharge his brain a little bit. Felt he really started to fall into bad habits offensively when he was in that 10-game hitting streak. He was short to the ball. He had made some nice offensive adjustments, but it feels like he's gotten back to some of those bad habits where his swing can get really long when he's in those bad habits.
You know, the thing of it is, too, and I understand what Eric's saying, but when you have a young guy and you've got to look at him, you've got to go out there and see him play. If he's going to be an everyday player at the major league level, he's got to play through being tired and make adjustments when that swing is long. You know, so this is a time where you can, if you really want to see what these guys can do when they're not in their peak condition.
Laporta 0 for his last 8. Pops it up on the infield. First baseman Butler calling for it.
Been a busy guy today.
Goes to a knee and hangs on, and the inning is over. Through 2, no score. No score, third inning. Bottom third of the Royals order due up here. John Buck, Luis Hernandez, and Josh Anderson. Drive to right field. Well hit. Back is Chu. He's out of room. It's out of here. And what else is new? John Buck delivering a big hit against the Indians.
Well, he's got 7 home runs this year now, and 3 of them have come against the Tribe.
Every time career, he's got 9 home runs against the Indians.
Well, every time I see him not in the lineup, I say, well, that's a good thing. But then again, who got the game-winning home run on Friday was Olivo. But here
10.
you go. First pitch. Boom. Middle of the plate. That's already the 6th home run given up by Carrasco.
Yeah, make that now 10 career homers for Buck against the Indians. He does have a knack. Here's Luis Hernandez, looks at a ball outside. Switch hitting infielder. A liner to short, caught by Cabrera. No, I guess he short hopped it, but he throws him out. 1 away. Look at our Subway fresh face of the game. Bo Mills homering last night. And the Akron Arrows swept their best of 5 against Reading. They'll face the winner.
All right.
For the Eastern League Championship. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. Mr. Anderson. Josh Anderson 0 for 3 in the series. Guy with good speed, left-handed hitter. Went too far, 1-1 to count. Ground ball, big hopper at second, and Valbuena will throw him out, 2 down.
Well, if you haven't planned your group picnic yet, you better hurry before it snows. There's only one homestand left, and the Indians will offer a one-of-a-kind venue out here at Progressive Field. You can choose from a variety of affordable food and beverage options. Call 216-420-HITS for information.
Two down for David DeJesus. He grounded out to first his first time up on a kind of a wicked bouncer that Andy Marte made a nice grab on. Dozen homers on the year for DeJesus. 27 doubles, 9 triples. And a strike at the knees to even the count. DeJesus has hit in 13 straight games for Kansas City, 18 out of 56 during his streak. Ball outside, 2-1. Weak ground ball hit the second, and again it's Valbuena who throws him out. After the homer, the Royals go 1-2-3, but that homer has Kansas City in front 1-0. Kyle Davies deals, and it's up high, ball one. Royals lead it 1-0 on a homer by John Buck. Two balls, no strikes. This scoreboard update is brought to you by Wendy's. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Marte 1 for 7 in the series, and like Laporta, has really cooled off.
Well, they both had their hot streak at the exact same time.
High pop. Second baseman Willie Bloomquist over. One down. We'll bring up Wyatt Torregas. Well, you're just one day away now from the most anticipated new show of the fall. It's the all-new Jay Leno Show. Jerry Seinfeld, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Rihanna, just some of the guests you'll see when the Jay Leno Show debuts tomorrow at 10 p.m. only on WKYC Channel 3.
We will be there.
Well, not there, but we'll be tuned in.
We'll be tuned in. Absolutely right.
Although we may be a little late because we'll be in Minnesota. And
yeah, you know what? That's what I'm a little worried about.
Mess us up. Wyatt Torregas looks at a ball down low. Three balls and no strikes. There's a strike, bullseye, 3-1. Well, we want to wish Jackson Shelton a happy 9th birthday today.
Jackson, is it Jackson's birthday?
Watching a ball game with Grandpa.
Down in Florida. Happy birthday, yes, Jackson.
Wyatt Torregas with a one-out walk.
We've got another special birthday going out to Hilda Wilgus, turning 96 today. She's from Canton, and she's celebrating her birthday tonight. Her son is John, the press box attendant out here. A family of 7. She had 2 boys, 5 girls. And John's got 7 kids, so it's going to be a household today. So, Hilda, happy birthday to you. Have a special day. John will be there as soon as this game gets over.
That's quite a celebration.
Yeah, it should be. See, he works for the Browns as well. So he took this game figuring that this one would be over before the Browns game so he could get out to the party in Canton tonight. So,
well, at least he was using his head. He was thinking.
Well, unless we have extra innings like we did Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, either way, you're taking a gamble, but. Michael Brantley looks at the ball outside, 1-1 to count. Brantley grounded out to first his first time up. Indians with their second base runner of the game as Torregas takes his lead at first. 2 balls and a strike. 40 pitches thus far for Davies. More balls than strikes.
See, that's what happens to him, and why he can't go deeper into ball games is because of pitch count. He gets all over the place, and I told you the walks earlier. When you're averaging 4.5 a game, you end up going deep into the count to a lot of hitters instead of pitching to contact like a lot of guys should do.
Like we saw Zach Greinke in the opener do.
Oh, he was, but he's got great stuff, and he was pitching to contact. Yeah,
there's a guy who can make an adjustment, even though he's got the kind of stuff who can overpower you.
You know, it was really fun to watch him on Friday night because the prior game that he pitched, he struck out 15 Indians, and I mean his stuff was just nasty, filthy.
Yeah.
So he goes out there and, had his 15 strikeouts, set a league record. Come back, and this start here, his last start was 125 pitches, the most he's thrown all year, and he did pitch to contact. It was a lot of fun to watch. It made it look simple.
The good ones have a way of doing that.
Yeah, they really do. Well, he's free and easy anyway out there. Effortless.
Full count.
Although it isn't, but it certainly looks that way.
There are some guys, when they let the ball go, it looks like they're using every ounce of energy in their body.
That's exactly right. This is already 6 3-ball counts out of the first 10 batters for Kyle Davies today.
Torregas running on the payoff pitch, and Brantley fouls it off. Pretty good bet, though, if you're Eric Wedge, when you've got Brantley at the plate to start your runner.
That doesn't matter, and that's the catcher. 9th place hitter, because that's exactly what he's telling you. My guy at the plate is going to put it in play. And he also feels that he has a good enough eye. If it's a ball, he'll take it and draw the walk. That's where a lot of managers are afraid to put it on with some hitters. Because they feel because the runner is running that they have to swing at everything. And you really don't have to. Just stay within yourself.
Again, Torregas is off, and it's ball 4. What a good eye by Brantley, because that was a close
exactly
pitch.
What I was talking about.
You're right.
It's exactly. I mean,
if you don't have the good discipline, you swing at that pitch.
See, for a young hitter too. I mean, you're 22. Look at young hitter swings at that pitch. That is just off the plate. That, my friends, is a good eye. So he draws the walk, and now you have runners at first and second.
Now you're set up with one out, and Asdrubal Cabrera robbed of a hit his first time up when he sent a ground ball to first that hit the bag. And Billy Butler, the first baseman, he was drifting into foul ground to track it and reached back with his bare hand and grabbed the ball in midair and was able to retire Cabrera. Maybe if we have a chance, we'll show that to you if you've been bouncing back and forth.
But there's another game on this week?
There's games everywhere. It's the fall. Everywhere you look.
Oh, boy.
It's like television for ADD today. I mean, this weekend, we'll probably watch 50 games at once if you have the capacity with the remote control.
I'm sure some people do.
Yeah. These are the kind of days, these are the kind of weekends that picture-in-picture was made for, except now you need like 6 picture-in-pictures. Now the 0-2. Up high. I remember back before there was picture-in-picture in the old days, you'd have your television set in the living room and you'd bring out a little black and white from the basement and put it on top of the other TV so you could watch 2 games at once.
Something special.
That there's ingenuity. 1-2.
Exactly.
Ground ball in the hole, closing the gap. Bloomquist. He'll throw out Cabrera. Runners to second and third, 2 down. Here's our great clip of the game from last night. Shin-Soo Choo driving one up and out. Relax, you're at Great Clips. His first home run in a month.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you know the good thing? The last home run came in Minnesota, and that's where we're heading. So maybe that stroke will stay hot. Usually that's how it happens. You know, with guys, you put good strokes together, you hit home runs for about a week straight. Davis thrown a lot of changeups to this point, I've noticed.
He's at 50 pitches with 2 on and 2 out here in the third.
That's why you have to remain patient, because this guy, he's all over the place. And if you let him walk you, he will.
Big bouncer to first. Butler goes to the bag. And we go to the fourth. 1-0 Kansas City. 1-0. Kansas City leads it as we go to the fourth inning here at Progressive Field.
In the flats.
It is a picture-perfect Sunday afternoon.
It really is. We had, the last homestand, the blimp here a couple of times, and what a view it gave us at downtown Cleveland.
Breaking ball misses to Willie Bloomquist for ball one. Boy, close pitch. And it's 2-1. Another look at that pitch. That looked like pretty good.
Well, it was close. You're right.
There's a drive toward left center field. This is in the alley. This is going to one-hop the fence. And into second base with a leadoff double is Willie Bloomquist. He is 2 for 2 here this afternoon.
Going to come down, and again, the fastball command. Is that
look like a hanger?
Well, I don't know. Is that a changeup? Because what was that?
86.
86. I'm not sure that wasn't a changeup of some kind.
Billy Butler fouls one out of play. Butler 2 for 10, as you see there in the series. But he's got a runner at second base to start this inning. And this is where he really concentrates on going to the right side. They turn, throw it into center field. And Bloomquist will go to third. The error by Carrasco puts the Royals' second run of the day.
Eventually, you'll learn. You'll see what pitchers can turn and make throws and which can't. And I mean, as a pitcher, you don't have to throw that ball because he was not that far off the base to where I can see with Valbuena coming in, they want to keep the guy close because he's a base stealer. But as a pitcher, you do not have to throw it to second base. He made a mistake and throws it there, and you'll end up talking to him about that as well. Because that's a big base you give him.
0-2. Just never really looked like he got himself square to the base.
You're exactly right. But that's what I'm saying. When you put it on because it goes to the base, you don't have to throw it.
Ground ball to the right side, gets the run home. Valbuena will throw out Butler. 2-0 Kansas City. 79th run batted into the year for Billy Butler. One down, base is empty, and Mike Jacobs, the Royals DH, will be the batter.
It turned into being a free at bat for Butler, didn't it? After the error, move him to third and just get it on the ground, and you got yourself a ribby.
Now a 1-0. Foul tipped it. Royals will head to Detroit as they continue this long road trip. Indians are off to Minnesota.
Yeah, the Royals have an off day tomorrow, and the Indians will definitely play in the Dome. 3-game series and then head to Oakland for 4.
2 balls and a strike. Be the Indians' final 3 games at the Metrodome. So set your DVRs for that.
Are you kidding? We're going to have a celebration. We're popping the champagne.
Now the 2-1. Close, but just missed. 3 balls and a strike.
It's one of the only buildings where you get to hear both TV and radio on at the same time.
We're separated by a thin strip of plexiglass, side by side. Now the 3-1 pitch. And Jacobs sends it just wide of the Royals dugout, and it caromed up into the seats. 3 on the right side with that shift. And Jacobs hit right into that shift his last time up. And the payoff. Again, he hits it right at Valbuena. So he's 2 for 2 in that regard, except Valbuena threw it off the glove of Marte. And Jacobs aboard on the air.
Well, I was looking down to mark it 4-3. Didn't even see what happened.
The throw was wide, but Andy just looked like he wasn't able to loosen his footwork to make an adjustment on the throw.
Well, let's check it out. It's a routine 4-3. Here's the throw. Well, he was committed. That front foot, you see his left foot, and he was locked up. He had no footwork. That's going to be an error on Marte. He was going out that way. I mean, you got to be loose and nimble around the base. You don't anticipate the throw always going to one side. So an error on Marte, second error in the inning.
Yeah, from our angle, it looked like the throw was wide. From that angle, it looked like it was still pretty much right there.
Well, he's throwing it from right field, short right. Well, it's going to be up.
In the hole, Valbuena with a diving stop. Throws. This time he got him. Nice play by Luis Valbuena, who had to range far to his left just to stop the ball, and then sprang to his feet and threw him out.
Well, there's going to be a little McDonald's. I'm loving it. You know what? He gives his man an opportunity again. He comes right back, dives for the ball, makes a lower throw and says, no, don't step differently here. Get it to him. Boom, got it. 2 outs. Nice play.
Runner at second, 2 down, and Mitch Meyer takes a strike. Meyer bounced one back to the mound his first time up today. Nothing, and 2 the count.
Well, out of the 11 outs, 8 of them have been ground ball outs to this point.
There's a liner towards center and an 0-2 base hit. It's going to bring home another run.
That error comes back.
Kansas City leads it 3-0.
Comes back to bite you. It comes back to get you, boy. Meyer just goes out, gets a ball out over the plate. Stayed back on it, hits it in the center field, the 4th hit, and they will get that unearned run around to score.
2 errors in the inning, so the Indians have not helped themselves at all defensively here. John Buck, who homered his first time up, has one sail over his head. Foul tipped. 1-1 to count. The 1-1 delivery is in there. Good breaking ball for a strike. Buck seems to be one of those hitters who bats better when the situation is tougher. His batting average is higher with runners on. It's higher yet with runners in scoring position. He's a .375 hitter with runners in scoring position.
Well, you wonder if it's, not just concentration. You get guys in scoring position, okay, now you're tuned in, but you have to do that every time you walk into the batter's box if you can.
Checks on a ball down low. I mean, if you look at those numbers, now granted, this is a year where he's had the back issue. He had a herniated disc. He missed a chunk of games with the back problem. But there's no reason why he should be hitting only .215. He's definitely a better hitter than that. We've seen it.
Well, yeah, against us we certainly have.
The 2-2. What happened?
Balk?
It must have been the second base umpire that called it, because I didn't see home plate umpire do anything but call time.
Wait, what happened? Did he stop or did he not stop in it? I don't know what happened. Wait, let's see if he stops. Up.
Yeah.
They must be calling no stop, where those hands never really came to a set or a one, a beat.
Pop back. And out of play.
And they're saying the second base umpire called it? I didn't see anything. Anybody. I just saw it. Home plate umpire just called time. It looked like a pretty good pitch to Buck. That didn't count.
He was struck out. I mean, Buck was ready to walk towards home plate. Yeah, a nice breaking ball. I think it was Mike Esterbrook who made the balk call, though. The 2-2 swung on and missed, so it does no damage. But the error did do damage, and the Royals score 2, won an unearned run, lead it 3-0. He's it. Royals in front as we go now to the bottom of the fourth, and Johnny Peralta leading off. Johnny walked his first time up on 4 pitches, and it's 1-0 to start it out. Kyle Davies just doesn't have it when it comes to Peralta for some reason here.
Well, it's amazing. 29 balls and 24 strikes. And he still hasn't given up a hit yet. That's a scary thing. He's been wild, effectively wild, I guess, because you can't sit on anything. Peralta has seen 7 pitches, 7 balls. Make it 8.
Make it 8. Another walk, another leadoff walk. And we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're watching Cleveland Indians baseball. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you here at Progressive Field. Royals on top 3-zip. Indians batting bottom of the fourth. Leadoff man aboard, Travis Hafner. Fly to left his first time up. Stepping in.
You know, in his last start against the Angels on September 7th, he went 5 innings, but he walked 6 guys and still only gave up 1 run. And it was almost like the same case scenario. He had 96 pitches, 50 for strikes. You know, so he's pitching about the same way. But, you know, you would think sooner or later you're going to get burned when you keep getting people on base or you're giving them free base runners. But they haven't been able to mix in a hit yet.
1-1 to Hafner. Davies is that old proverb, playing with fire. Broke his bat, bloops it down the line, but the third baseman, Cayespo, makes the catch. In foul ground, 1 away. Let's send you back to the studios right now for a Ford Sports update with Dave Chudowski.
Matt and Rick Jays at Tigers. The Tigers had lost 5 in a row heading into today. Gerald Laird gets him on the board with an RBI single in the second. He has 2 ribbies so far in this game. We're in the 3rd inning now. It's Tigers 4, Blue Jays 0. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Dave. Well, sooner or later, you know, the Tigers are going to snap out of this.
Well, you would think so. You certainly would think so. Hey, that's a long way from over. Yeah, Detroit has lost 5 straight.
Valbuena socks one in the air, right field. Meyer cruising over, makes the grab, and Peralta back to first. 2 down.
Well, visit the online shop of the Indians at Indians.com. You can browse the largest online selection of merchandise, including T-shirts, caps, jerseys, and more. So get your team gear straight from the source. That's Indians.com. You know, when you look at the Central Division in the second half, the Indians and the Tigers are the best 2 teams. They're at 500. The White Sox are 3 games under. The Twins are 3 games under. And the Royals are about 14 games under. So no one is over the 500 mark.
And the Indians were doing really well before that recent skid where they lost 9 out of 11. Yeah, it's been a strange year in the Central Division where everybody has been kind of floundering, really. No team has been able to get hot and stay hot. The Tigers have been the most consistent, for whatever that's worth. But their 75 wins are by far the fewest among any division leader. They'd be in 3rd place in the AL West. They'd be in 3rd place in the AL East. They'd be in 3rd place in the NL East. They'd be in 2nd place in the NL Central, but still way back. It's 9 games back of the Cardinals. And they'd be in 4th place in the NL West.
Yeah, it's something, isn't it? It has been one of those years for the Central Division in the American League.
And that's why Eric Wedge has been so frustrated, and for that matter, Mark Shapiro. You know, of all years to have a clunker, this is a year where if you were just a 500 team, you're in the race all the way through.
There's
in the
no
division
doubt
this year.
about it.
Anderson under the fly ball in center. He's got it. And we have played 4 complete. Kansas City 3, Cleveland nothing. Is brought to you by Subway. Play hard, eat fresh. And by Alltel Wireless. Choose who you call for free with My Circle. Any number, any network. It is a picture-perfect day in downtown Cleveland. Luis Hernandez takes a strike to lead off the fifth for Kansas City. Carlos Carrasco. Another strike, and it's 0-2. Swung on and missed. Ball gets away from Torregas. Fires to first. Third strikeout for Carrasco. One down in the fifth. Let's have a look at our direct energy. Bringing the gas sequence.
Coming back in the first inning. Billy Butler, he is facing, gets ahead of him with a fastball strike, missed inside. Throws a nice curveball on the outside part of the plate. Misses with the sinker, but gets him with the curveball.
Josh Anderson grounded to second his first time up here this afternoon. Looks at a ball in the dirt. Anderson, who's been with the Astros, Braves, and Tigers, came over from Detroit for cash considerations on July 30th, right at the deadline. Drag bunt and a good one. The flip, and Anderson beat him to the bag.
Well, we talked about that drag bunt earlier. There's a dandy. When you get it past the pitcher, then it's just a matter of you beating the pitcher to the bag. Because you force Marte, or the first baseman, to come up and get the ball, and then he still has to flip it to the pitcher, and they've got to be in stride. And you see Carrasco did everything in his power to get over there, and that was close. Ooh. That was bang, bang. I mean, look at that. That's step by step.
He did beat him.
Yes, he did. It was a good call. He was right on it. And you know, and that shuffle, that pitcher's feet, they're not moving as fast as that runner's. That's his sixth bunt hit this year, and that was a good bunt. Very good bunt.
So 1-on-1 out for David DeJesus, who's grounded out twice this afternoon. 60th pitch of the day coming up for Carlos Carrasco. Broke his bat. Fair ball down the left field line. Anderson will go to third. And into second base with a double is David DeJesus. Shattered the bat, but hit it perfectly.
Yeah, placed perfectly is right. Look at that. Look where that bat shattered. My goodness. You talk about bad wood. Well, it gets right over the head. And in comes Laporta. Not before Anderson can get to third. DeJesus gets into second with a double. It's second and third now with one out for a guy that's already 2 for 2 today.
Willie Bloomquist had a single in the first and a double in the fourth. And DeJesus has extended his hitting streak to 14 in a row. Outside ball one. A bit too low. fouled out.
Send along birthday wishes again to Bob Emond. His birthday today, celebrating it at the ballpark. Bob Van Spiegel is turning 74, a big Indians fan, and a happy 23rd anniversary to Al and Beth Tyrell of Elida, Ohio.
Two-one, bounce towards short. Cabrera comes in, throws him out, another run scores. Bloomquist with his first RBI on the day, his 29th on the year, and it's 4-0 Kansas City as Anderson scores on the play. DeJesus holds at second, 2 down. Another look at the Alltel text poll question of the game. Who do you think the Indians' opening day starter will be next year? Text your answer to 31962 and we'll have the results later on. Bounce to third. Peralta sets, throws, inning over. We'll go to the bottom of the fifth. Kansas City 4, Cleveland 0. Fifth, 4-zip in favor of the Royals, and Andy Marte pops one straight back toward the dugout of Kansas City, and into the seats it goes. Kind of front row made an effort, but woefully short. Marte popped up on the infield his first time to the plate today. Kyle Davies somehow is spinning a no-hitter. In the air, right field. Mitch Meyer makes the catch, one away. Let's have a look at the All Care Dental and Dentures Smile and Easy Cam. And a big hello to all the All Care folks watching in Toledo, Ohio. All Care Dental and Dentures make seeing the dentist easy. Wyatt Torregas has drawn one of 4 Indians walks so far this afternoon. And Kyle Davies has still thrown more balls than strikes. And yet, 70 pitches into this game, the Indians are still without a hit, and he has struck out just 1. And a strike called, 1-2. That's too low, 2-2. Now, granted, the Indians have a lot of young hitters who are feeling their way through this major league experience for the first time, but is this a frustrating game if you're a hitter for the Indians, and that you're watching this game and you're thinking this guy doesn't have that good of stuff, and yet we don't have a hit?
Well, sometimes when it's tough to sit on him because he's not in one location, or he's not doing pattern-wise. He seems like, to me, he's throwing more breaking balls and off-speed pitches for strikes than he is his fastball. And I don't know. The approach you take as a hitter, will you go up and sit on one of those changeups or the curveball? Or you're always going to sit on the fastball, especially if he's not throwing for strikes? It can be difficult sometimes when a guy's not in a pattern, or you can't figure it out.
Just missed. He wanted it. Davies was heading off the mound.
Well, there's a pretty good pitch. Fastball right there.
And the payoff pitch.
Yes, he did.
He went too far, and he's rung up. Second strikeout for Davies, 2 down here in the 5th.
Well, there's, I think, where Torregas thought he was going to throw him a strike here. 3-2, didn't want to walk him, so he committed, and he did swing. Tried to check it, couldn't hold it up. Will go down as out number 2.
And it will bring Michael Brantley to the plate, 0 for 1. He walked his last time up. Michael Brantley has been really tearing it up offensively for the Indians. We mentioned last night the fact that he had a 4-hit game. And he was the first Indian since Andy Allenson to have a 4-hit game within the first 10 games of his career. Since Andy Allenson did that back in, what would you say, 1986, I think it was?
Yeah, it was back in the 80s.
He draws another walk. And that's another thing that's a big part of his game. He's got a great eye at the plate.
Well, when we return home on Friday, September 25th, the Indians are going to open up a series against the Baltimore Orioles, and it's going to be Rockin' Reblast. That's an encore of the Rockin' Blast that they had last homestand. It's a great fireworks show with some nice rock and roll music. That's the 25th of September. Rockin' Reblast.
Just a bit outside, ball 1 to Asdrubal Cabrera, who is 0 for 2 here this afternoon. Five walks, no hits.
I know. It is amazing. And when you look at him, I told you about his last start against the Angels, 5 innings. He did give up 5 hits, but had 6 walks in that game and still only gave up with a 1 run.
And he's thrown 5 more balls than strikes overall in the game.
I don't know. Tough to figure and tough to, when you were up against those Angels and you walk 6 guys, I figure they try and run you to death, or at least put people in motion.
Even if he doesn't give up a hit, he has no shot at a no-hitter today because he's at 84 pitches already in the 5th inning.
Well, not for the whole game he wouldn't, but for the innings he's pitching, he may only go 1 more.
Yeah. I see a hit coming here. 2-1 pitch. And it's bunted foul. We've seen a lot more bunt attempts from Asdrubal Cabrera, I'd say, in the last month than we saw earlier in the year.
Well, it's bunt attempts with 2 outs is what you've seen him do. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. Maybe the third baseman's back. He's trying to get a base hit and keep it going. I just don't figure it out.
Runner goes, and a pitch fouled away. Davey's ready. He deals, and it's a little bit too far outside. Full count. Here we go again.
6 full counts today, and he's had more than that, 3 ball counts.
So Brantley, who can really fly, he'll get a big head start at first base. He takes off, and Cabrera fouls the 3-2.
Yeah, 6 full counts and 10 3-ball counts, and that's why his pitch count is at 88 pitches here in the 5th inning. Tough guy to play behind when you're a defender. Oh. That's why if you have anything hit, I wouldn't be surprised. These guys are on their heels.
Need some of those gel inserts. 3-2 pitch, strike 3 called, and the Indians' frustrating day continues. 4-zip. Royals in front as we go to the 6th inning. That's how Rick and I are going to get to Minnesota. We're going by a boat.
Yeah. Who's driving?
Kreskin. Mike Jacobs leads off the 6th inning for KC. Swing and a miss. One and one to count. Jacobs reached in the 4th on an error by Marte and scored an unearned run.
Boy, if that stayed fair, would have been able to run forever.
Yeah. Indians have that shift on, 3 on the right side, and Peralta way over toward the shortstop position. So there's nobody on that left side. Popped in the air, center field. Coming in, Brantley. 1 away. Here's our Northern Ohio Toyota dealers game recap. John Buck, his 9th career homer against the Indians, put Kansas City on the board first. And Billy Butler drove in a run with an RBI ground out to make it 2-zip. Mitch Meyer drove home an unearned run with a 2-out single in the 4th. And Kansas City now leads it 4-0 for a dealer near you. Visit buyatoyota.com. Alberto Callaspo 0 for 2 here this afternoon. And he's trying to extend his hitting streak to 13 in a row. David DeJesus doubled earlier and pushed his hitting streak to 14 straight. Two and one. Cell phone owners, listen up. Did you know that complete strangers can track your every move, intercept text messages, record conversations, and more? Well, don't miss Eric Mansfield's startling report tomorrow on Channel 3 News at 11. Now Carrasco with a 3-1 to Callaspo, and it's outside ball 4. And that is, I do believe, the first walk issued by Carrasco. And a 1-out base runner for Mitch Meyer.
Well, we would like you to fill the house for the Ronald McDonald House of Cleveland. That'll be Wednesday, September 23rd. Tigers in town. For every ticket sold, $1 will be donated to the charity, and over $475,000 have been donated to local charities this year. Oh, it got him. How about that?
We just saw that. Was
yes,
it in this
did.
series or was it Texas?
It was Texas,
okay.
I think.
Yeah.
It was a Texas series where the runner was hit with a pitch. And
unreal.
So credit Meyer with a base hit. And
Balbuena?
Yeah, the put out. And the thing of it is Callaspo was running. So I don't know if it was a hit and run. Let's see if he looks back. He never even looked back, did he?
Yeah, he did, I think.
He felt it. He felt the ball awfully close to him, and he just couldn't get out of the way. It might have been a double play if he doesn't let the ball hit him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, so in essence, he gets his teammate who's giving him a high five. Hey, thanks for the hit, bro. I mean, you got me a hit instead of a double play. That's crazy.
Just missed outside to John Buck. 1 for 2 with a solo homer. little bit outside. Carlos Carrasco sets in the 2-0, is hit deep to left field. Back goes Laporta, and it's high off the fence, and he takes a tumble. Brantley there to back it up, but scoring on the play with 2 outs is Mitch Meyer. And it's now 5-0 Kansas City. Into second with a double, and his second run batted into the game is John Buck.
Boy, that didn't miss by much. He really hit that ball a ton, and it was high, and it was deep. And it missed by about a foot of going out. And I don't know what happened to Laporta in left field. He just fell down. That ball going down, he got stuck on. I don't think he could play high enough to catch that ball.
He hung up on the fence.
That's not. You got to come back and play that ball off the wall, Matt.
That's part of the learning curve. Left field here at Progressive Field. Marte with a backhand, the flip, and the inning is over. Royals keep adding to their lead. They've scored in 4 straight innings, and they lead it 5-0. As we go down to the bottom of the 6th inning. McGrady Sizemore banners given away today. And Shin-Soo Choo has the first hit of the game for the Tribe. A leadoff single to straightaway center here in the 6th inning. No, on the 90th pitch of the day, Kyle Davies finally gives up his first hit.
And it was a breaking ball. And Chu hit the home run on a curveball last night. They come back with another one. He gets the very first hit for the Indians today. As you mentioned, on pitch number 90, that was his 45th strike thrown. So he is at 50-50.
But it seems like he's been fighting uphill all day on that, in terms of that mix. He's been on the wrong side of it, more balls and strikes most of the afternoon. But it's the end result game. No runs. The activity now in the Tribe bullpen. Looks like Mike Gosling pitched well his last time out of the pen. in a long relief roll. The 2-0. Missed inside.
He
with
cannot throw
And
Peralta any
that's
strikes.
He hasn't seen one yet.
Is that
Not
right?
one.
Still, I know he's walked twice. You mean he had
11.
8 straight? Now it's 11 straight
Yep.
balls to Johnny Peralta. How
Yep.
about that? And both times, though, he was leading the inning off back in the second and the fourth. Second hitter here, so you
How
take the
about that?
walk.
12
Unbelievable.
straight balls to Peralta. And the Indians have 2 on with nobody out. But before Hafner comes to the plate, let's send you to our cleanup hitter, Dave Chudowski, with a Ford Sports update.
Oh, well, thank you very much there, Matt. I appreciate that. How about the Rays and Red Sox? Red Sox lead the Rangers by 3 in the wild card. This game was tied at 1, but in the 8th, Dustin Pedroia with the 2-run homer off Matt Garza. The Red Sox lead the Rays 3-1 in Game 1. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Dave.
That's 10-spot Dave.
Be a long day. And why is that? Oh, you've got nicknames for everybody. A long day in Beantown, huh?
Yes, indeed. That's right. They were rained out Friday, so yes, it will be.
Here is Pronk, 0 for 2 this afternoon. 3 for 12 in the series. And takes a strike, much to his chagrin. Be a good time to snap that 0 for 7. Get the Indians on the board here. One and one to count. Foul tipped it off the bat. 1 and 2 the count. Hey, tonight at 7, join Bruce Drennan for All Bets Are Off. He'll take your calls and emails talking about today's NFL action. Find out what Bruce thinks about the quarterback situation with the Browns. It's all tonight at 7 on Sports Time Ohio. One-two pitch. And Travis just did fight that off. First time today the Indians have had their first 2-man on base to start an inning. They had back-to-back runners reach in the third after 1 out. But that didn't lead to anything. And the 1-2 pitch. Again, he just spoils it. Stay alive. Eric Wedge looking for somebody offensively to give this team a spark. Chu delivered the first hit. And now the 1-2 pitch line is short, a double play. And Chu is erased on the bases.
That kind of ball there could end up being a triple play. Right on the nose, right into the tracks of Hernandez. And Chu couldn't move at second, even if he goes back. You see, he took one step to duck, he's done. Hernandez goes back, steps on the bag, but Peralta at first didn't go anywhere.
And so Luis Valbuena 0 for 2 will be the hitter. In the dirt, ball 1. So Kyle Davies has reached 100 pitches on the afternoon, and he is a 50-50 split right down the middle. Big bouncer foul. A one-hit shutout to this point for Kyle Davies. with a half dozen walks. A bit outside, 2-1. Even up, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, a runner at first. Indians down 5-0 here in the 6th. It's just been an odd game, and in many ways you'd say Carrasco has pitched better than Davies. And yet Davies is the guy with the goose egg. Foul back. Valbuena 0 for 2 today, but came in with a 5-game hitting streak. And hit in 18 of his last 23 overall. Punches it foul.
He's been away, and he's expanded the zone for Valbuena outside. And let's see if he tries to buzz him inside one time, because he's reaching pitches that are probably 4 inches off the plate. Changeup? Well, let's see. They're staying away.
Up high, full count. I don't believe there's anybody throwing yet in the Royals bullpen, even though he's well over 100 pitches now on the day. Runner goes 3-2, big bouncer to second. Bloomquist throws him out. 6 one-hit shutout innings for Kyle Davies, and the Royals lead it 5-0. Energy, offering simple solutions for all your natural gas needs. Visit directenergy.com/GoTry for details. And by AM/PM, too much good stuff. It's a 5-0 Kansas City advantage as we go now to the 7th inning of play. And we've got a new pitcher for the Tribe. Carlos Carrasco went 6 innings today. Gave up 5 runs, 4 earned.
Mike Goose Gosselin coming on for the 11th time. The left-hander. It'll be Anderson, DeJesus, and Bloomquist up for Kansas City.
Pitched very well his last time out. That long relief role.
Against Texas?
Yeah.
That's when they were down early in that bullpen, finally gave him a chance.
Pitched 4 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball. One ball, one strike.
There it is. One hitter through 6 innings for Kyle Davies. 6 walks, 3 punch-outs. And he's at the 108 pitch mark, so I would have to think he's probably about done.
Yeah, there's activity in their bullpen, so I would assume you're right. Tapper foul. Roman Cologne. Anderson with a drag bunt single his last time up. Again, just foul tips it.
Almost like he picked that ball out of the glove.
I was thinking the same thing.
You talk about late in a defensive emergency swing. That was it. Watch how late. He almost picks that ball out of the glove.
Mm-hmm. A little bit high, 2-2. High fly ball, center field. Michael Brantley. 1 away.
Well, you can get tickets for the AM/PM all-you-can-eat seats. Your 32 upper reserve seat ticket includes unlimited dogs, popcorn, peanuts, nachos, and Pepsi products. Visit Indians.com or call 216-420-HITS.
Pitch in there for a strike to David DeJesus, who has doubled in 3 trips to the plate here today. A couple of ground outs as well. Up the middle and into center field.
That looked like it skimmed off the bag as well at second base. Second straight hit for DeJesus. Royals now with 9 on the afternoon. I mean, right back up the middle, and take a look and see if it doesn't skip over second base. Right off the mound. Boy, that was close, wasn't it?
Brings up Willie Bloomquist, who has 2 hits. He has scored a run, driven in 1.
The Royals have 4 guys with 2 hits. DeJesus, Bloomquist, Meyer, and Buck.
Bloomquist now 7 for his last 13 during a 4-game hitting streak. Missed inside. 2 balls and a strike. And a strike is called as he nailed the inside corner that time. In the air, left field, coming hard as Laporta makes the running catch. 2 down. Now that'll bring up Billy Butler. Jacksonville, Florida native. Royals' #1 pick back in 2004. Rick has often made the comment that some guys are born to hit. And for Billy Butler, he says, quote, "It's the only thing I've wanted to do since I was 6 years old, which was the first time I even signed up for baseball. If I weren't playing baseball, I'd be coaching or doing something with baseball because it is truly my life."
Well, he can hit. That's certainly what got him to the big leagues. That if it stays fair.
Slicing foul down into the corner.
Even when his first year when he called up, he has had some problems. They sent him back down to the minor leagues, but he could always sit, and he's had a pretty good eye or an idea of the strike zone. You know, where he won't hit for a lot of power. He does have 17 home runs because he stays on the baseball, and that's a big ball yard in Kansas City to try and go opposite field for home runs. But, boy, he will have a lot of doubles.
Looped foul into the seats. Like many professional baseball players, pretty modest beginning for Billy Butler. When he signed with the Royals, he reported for duty to Idaho Falls in the Pioneer League.
Welcome.
He said, "We had one road trip that lasted a day and a half. We drove from Idaho Falls to Provo, Utah." And he said the bus broke down on the trip. We had to get all the luggage off.
Welcome to professional baseball, man. You think it's great, isn't it? I think everybody can share a story about getting on a bus and something breaking down or something happening, and the trainer used to be the bus driver. We had to have one guy, our trainer one time, couldn't drive the bus. He was drunk and he was passed out.
So who drove the bus?
We had one of the players, one of the guys. Drove the bus, had a license.
That's truly where you talk about the guy hit a home run and drove the team bus to the game.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you've had breakdowns or flat tires. You have to wait for a while.
The 1-2. Hammered to left field.
Another double for the kid.
Butler going to roll towards second. De Jesus flying into third. He's going to be waved around. And the throw from Valbuena, I do believe it is not in time.
Well, that's because
skipped past Cabrera. And Valbuena was there to back it up and made a strong throw, but not in time.
Well, that's because the throw from Laporta was not very good. It short hops. It missed the first guy who would have been a dead duck. They took the chance because it's a 5-0 game. You can do that when you're up 5. Now, the throw here, it's a short throw, but Laporta doesn't even get it to the first guy, Cabrera, who has the better arm. He would have been out if Cabrera gets that ball, I think, because Cabrera's got a quick relay and he's got an accurate arm. But Butler now will get the RBI, 46 doubles. And what that say? Was that tied with Hal McRae for? There it is. Hal McRae has the most, 54 and 77, 46 and 82. Sweeney had 46, and now Butler, so he should pass that.
Three-way tie for second. Mike Jacobs 0 for 3 here today. Once again, let's pause for station identification. You're watching Cleveland Indians baseball. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning here at Progressive Field. Glad you're with us on this Sunday afternoon. Royals with a 6-0 lead. As Jacobs has now got a 2-2 count with a runner at second and 2 down. Indians have the 3-man shift on the right side again, but Peralta on the left side has to play over near third with that runner at second base. Popped up foul, back into the seats.
He had a pitch to hit there and he fouled it off.
And the 2-2 is a check. Did he go? He did not. He held up, says third base umpire Jerry Meals.
Yeah. Good call.
Here's the payoff pitch. And it's fouled out of play. But, Rick, how about Tampa Bay? 1 year removed from the World Series, and they've lost 10 in a row now.
Yeah.
And they've got another game to play tonight.
Well, when we faced them this year, it looked like their pitching was a little short to begin with. You know, some of their starters, they ended up trading Kazmir. He had problems this year. Shields lost for the 10th time. He's 9-10, or he's going tonight.
Payoff pitch again fouled away. Seattle and Texas also playing a doubleheader.
And they're in a rain delay. It's been raining awfully hard down in Dallas for the last few days.
It's kind of I think they're starting at twilighter. They're starting at 5 and then playing the second one afterwards. And ball 4. Gosling walks Jacobs. So 2 on, 2 out, and Alberto Callaspo for 2 will be the hitter. Callaspo 3 out of 10 in the series with a couple of doubles. Went too far. Callaspo, a Venezuelan native. High and fouled on the right side. That pitch is inside, a ball and 2 strikes. Alberto Callaspo, originally signed by the Angels organization. And as you see, Rafi Perez-Houston. Another ball in the dirt, 2-2. In 06, the Diamondbacks acquired him in a trade with the Angels. And the following year, the Royals got him in exchange for right-handed pitcher Billy Buckner. So it's been a good deal for Kansas City. Struck him out looking. Inning finally over, but the Royals tack on yet another run. They've scored in 5 straight innings in this game. Panini's newest and largest location is now open in Westlake with a brand new menu. And that new menu is coming to a Panini's near you. Stay up to date by visiting paninisgrill.com. Roman Colon is coming on now for Kansas City. After Kyle Davies went 6 one-hit shutout innings, walking a half dozen.
And striking out 3. You know, for Davis this afternoon, he had 108 pitches, 53 balls, 55 strikes. He had 12 3-ball counts and 7 full counts. And the only hit that he gave up was to Chu, and that came on the first pitch. So now Colon on.
He worked in the game against Detroit on September the 10th, so 3 days ago, an inning and a third, 4 hits, scoreless relief with a strikeout. They need all the encouragement they can get right now. They've been out hit 10-1, trail 6-0. As Matt Laporta leads off the home half of the 7th inning. Laporta, Andy Marte, Wyatt Torregas. Swung on and missed 1-1. Fouled back. 1-2 the count on Matt Laporta. 0 for 7 in the series. And Laporta's offensive struggles continue here, as he's now 0 for his last 10 overall.
He looks like a totally different hitter to me now than when he was hot when we were in that road trip from Kansas City to Baltimore. Right there, it's almost like a feel swing.
Yeah, feeling for the ball, as they say. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, Eric Wedge said yesterday that for him it looks like Laporta has just gotten away from what he was doing so well, which was being short to the ball.
Well, he was.
And that swing's gotten a little bit long again.
But even when he was taking pitches in Baltimore and on that trip that we're talking about when he had the 10-game hitting streak, you could tell he was seeing the ball well. It's almost like he had no doubt when he walked into that batter's box, he realized he was going to make good contact.
Swing and a miss. 1 down. Let's go back to the studios once again for a Ford Sports update. Dave Chudowski has the latest on the Minnesota Twins.
That's right, Matt. The Indians heading to Minnesota after this, and Minnesota winning right now. They are coming off a 3-game losing streak, but here's Michael Tedire with the bases-loaded single to score a pair. And right now, it's 4-0 Twins in the 3rd inning. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Dave. Here's Andy Marte taking a strike. He's 0 for 2 today. One ball, 1 strike. Hit well, deep center field. Anderson back, and he's going to make the catch well in front of the track. 2 down. So 2 down, bases empty, and Wyatt Torregas, who has walked and struck out, comes to the plate. Colon with a fastball strike. Torregas made his major league debut on August the 1st. Kind of hitting his first big league at bat against Detroit. But obviously, playing time has been hit and miss when you've got other catchers on the roster. That tends to be the case.
Well, what it turns out is it's like an audition or a tryout through September. And a lot more positions than one.
Indians have 3 catchers right now, and if you include Chris Jimenez, that makes 4. Chris has played primarily other positions, but he's also been behind the plate a few times as well, including last night. Swing and a miss, and the Indians go 1-2-3. 7 in the books. 6-0 Kansas City.
Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Get a look at Heritage Park beyond the center field fence here at Progressive Field. 6-0, Royals on top. 8th inning of action, and Rafael Perez coming on. Trying to get him back on track somehow, some way. Let's take a look at the results in the Alltel text poll, shall we?
Why not?
48% think Aaron Laffey will be the opening day starter for the Indians next year. Time will tell. Mitch Meyer, 2 for 3 with a couple of singles, an RBI, and a run scored. $21,153 our attendance today here at Progressive Field on this gorgeous, mild, sunny Sunday afternoon. This scoreboard update is brought to you by Coors Light. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Mitch Meyer looks at a strike. Swing and a miss. And the count 0-2. If you're Rafael Perez, there's a certain amount of pride. You don't want to have to pitch in these kinds of games. The only way to get yourself out of that situation, though, is to pitch better. To
you pitch your way into them.
There's a foul ball down the left side.
You pitch your way into them, and you have to pitch your way out of them. This guy was one of the premier relievers in 2007. And, last year, was okay. This year has really struggled for whatever reason.
Hard hit ball. Oh, what a diving stop by Valbuena for the second time today. He makes a sensational diving stop to take a hit away from a Royal hitter. He robbed Callaspo earlier. This time he gets Meyer.
Yeah, that's a good play. Got a nice hop, but as he's diving to his left, gets up in plenty of time and throws him out. Good play by Luis Valbuena.
One away. Here's John Buck. Couple of hits. He homered in the third, doubled in a run in the sixth. Roller to short. Asdrubal throws him out 2 away. And now we'll get a look at Luis Hernandez batting for the 4th time today. He's 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout. Hernandez earlier this year batted .204 in 22 games for the Royals from May 2nd to July the 7th. And then he was designated for assignment, cleared waivers, and then sent to AAA Omaha. Played with the Orioles for parts of 07 and 08. The 0-1. Peralta slings it across, and the Royals go 1-2-3. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. 6-0 Kansas City.
bottom half of the 8th inning. The Indians still looking to get in the run column. They are down 6-0. They have one hit on the day. That was a Shin-Soo Choo single back in the 6th inning. On the first pitch, a slider. Trying to get all the kids going here in the crowd on Kids Fun Day. But it hasn't been a whole lot of fun for the kids to this point.
Especially the kids wearing Indians uniforms.
Yeah, those kids too.
They've got one hit, half dozen walks, but no runs. Michael Brantley in the air, left center. Kind of a circuitous route for Josh Anderson, but he makes the catch, one away.
How do you spell that, pal? That's what I want to know. You can say it. Can you spell it?
Circuitous.
Very good. I'm impressed.
I don't know. I'm
now will you tell me what it means?
Yeah, circular. You know.
Okay.
Not a direct line.
Very good.
Sort of the roundabout way.
You better not use that as an outfield coach to those outfielders, though, because they're going to look at you and they're going to say, what?
Here is Asdrubal Cabrera 0 for 3.
Well, this is the 17th rubber game for the Royals this season when they've been even at 1 trying to win that series. And they're 3-13 in the affairs and just won in their last 11. But they've got a chance to go to 2 in their last 12 with a 6-0 lead here and down to 5 outs for the Indians.
A called strike. 3-1. Missed inside, and that's ball 4. So another walk for the Indians. And a 1-out base runner for Shin-Soo Choo. You were talking about the Royals, though, and well, they've been playing of late offensively. A big key for them. They have now 8 double-digit hit games in their last 10.
Yeah, and that's a team that is last in the league in average-wise. They come in today as a team hitting .257. Second to last in run scored. They have now 586.
Chew with a high fly ball, left field. Back goes to Jesus, onto the track. Now back into the grass to pull it down. 2 away. Johnny Peralta has not seen a strike so far today. He has walked in all 3 plate appearances on 4 pitches each time. And a swing and a miss. He finally gets a strike and he swings at the first one he sees. He's been anxious.
Well, think about it. When you hit 3 times in a big league game and you don't swing the bat once, that's a rarity.
Yeah.
And you don't even see a strike.
One and one. Looking back on it.
The second base umpire called the balk on him for not stopping.
Mike
Boy, he's got eagle eye out today. I'm checking this game out. He's just telling him. Second one today. When's the last time you've seen 2 balks in a game? Yeah, he didn't stop. Well, I give him credit. It was the right call. I guess you don't let him get away with it.
You have to pause for at least a beat.
You've got to stop. Or they consider that deceiving the runner at first base, which is no hesitation or, you just keep right on going.
1-1 pitch. In there for a strike. Kerry Wood, who hasn't pitched in what seems like forever, loosening in the Indians' bullpen. Cologne ready, and the 1-2 in the dirt. Kerry Wood last pitched in that 3-1 David Huff win over the Twins on September 6th, so it's been a week. Off the end of the bat, up the first base line, goes foul. Six runs on 10 hits for Minnesota here this afternoon. No runs on 1 hit for the Tribe. Trey Hillman's club trying to win this series, even though the Indians have already clinched the season series by winning 10 games against Kansas City. The 1-2 evens the count. Runner at second, 2 down, and a 2-2 count on Peralta. And a chopper foul. Third base side. Flip to the seats, and there we go. Johnny with a ground ball to short. Hernandez throws him out. So we'll go to the ninth. It's still 6-0 Kansas City. Royals on top, 9th inning here at Progressive Field. And Kerry Wood, who hasn't pitched in a week, is coming on now to get a little work. He'll be facing Josh Anderson, David DeJesus, and Willie Bloomquist here in the ninth. Anderson 1 for 3, had a drag bunt single and scored a run back in the 5th inning. Minnesota landed on Oakland. They're up 7-0. Twins batting in the 4th inning. White Sox will be in action coming up in a little while in Anaheim against the Angels. Chicago leapfrogged over Minnesota into 2nd place last night. Meanwhile, Detroit, who came into the day having lost 5 straight games but still lead the Central by 5 games, look like they're going to break out of their slump today and maintain their stranglehold on the division lead. They're in the bottom of the 8th at Comerica Park, and the Tigers lead Toronto 4-2. Kerry Wood walks the leadoff man. Here's a look at our Northern Ohio Buick Pontiac GMC performance of the game, and it's John Buck.
He wishes he could play against the Indians more often. Out of his 7 home runs this year, 3 have come against the Tribe.
Here now is David DeJesus with a couple of hits, a double, a single, and a run scored. He's got 4 hits in the series. Ground ball. Valbuena dives off his glove. Anderson will stay at second base. Chu got to it quickly. So a walk and a hit. And the Royals looking to add to their lead here in the 9th inning. Valbuena gave it a game effort, but you'll see just off the end of the leather. And so now Willie Bloomquist, who has 2 hits on the day. Well, one thing we know about relievers, it's hard to go a week without getting into a game and stay sharp.
Yeah, and come back out. Yeah, that's true.
In the air, left field. Laporta makes the catch. That's the first out here in the 9th. Some of that blame falls on just the way the games are played out. You know, there are some games where you just don't have a need for your closer. And then some of that also falls on the pitcher. You know, there are some days where, you know, hey, for whatever reason, physical ailments, he's just not able to go. Eric Wedge and Carl Willis don't sit around and go, boy, when was the last time Kerry Wood got in the game? We need to get him in there once in a while. I mean, they know every couple of games, if he doesn't pitch, they want to get him work to keep him sharp. Sometimes it's just not.
No, the bottom line is a reliever and veteran relievers, you know what kind of work it takes to keep you sharp for when you don't pitch and you have to come into games. Wood, this is only the 2nd year he's been a closer and coming out of the pen. So, you know, this guy is actually what people don't realize just because he closed games last year. They don't realize that he's still learning how to close games. And, I mean, it's not something that you just do for 1 year and you figure you got it figured out. It doesn't work like that. It takes a long while, and being the closer, boy, it is not an easy thing. This guy was a starter, and his problem was injuries.
I think people looked at what John Smoltz did and just figured, well, John Smoltz made the transition. Kerry Wood ought to be fine.
No, it doesn't happen like that. John Smoltz mentally, he's unbelievable.
There's always one guy who comes along and kind of
Yeah,
breaks the mold, ruins it for everybody else.
Ruins it
because they put the expectations so high for everybody else.
That's right. Eckersley was one of those guys, but believe me, when he was a starter and he went to a closer, he didn't want to be in the bullpen because he thought you would look down upon when you went into the bullpen. But that's how the one-inning closer started, was Tony La Russa and Dennis Eckersley. That's how it basically got started, because then it was up where closers would go to, let's say in the olden days, the 70s or something, it was 9 outs or less. Then it went to 6 outs, and then, back when Eck started closing games, it was a 1-out save, period. I'm not going to burn him out. And that started right around 90, late 80s or 90.
The 1-2 pitch. High pop on the infield. Going out as Drupal Cabrera calling for it. And the shortstop's got it, 2 down. Well, I was telling you about the other day watching an old game on the MLB Network. It was Game 1 of the 1974 World Series, the Dodgers and the Oakland A's. And here's Rollie Fingers pitching in I think he was into the 9th inning. He had 4 2/3 innings of relief under his belt.
Yeah. Well, and that was one of the first closers was Raleigh.
Vin Scully referred to him as Roland Fingers.
With the old handlebar mustache.
Yeah. But, you think of the relievers who started to change kind of the game. You think of Rollie Fingers and those kind of guys. And there were no 3-out saves in Raleigh's career. He was out there for.
Well, yeah, you were out there for a while. That's true. If your starter couldn't get you to him.
Goose Gossage, same kind of.
Well, Hiller with Detroit, left-hander, John Hiller.
The 1-0 pitch. Down low. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Jacobs 1 out of 11 in this series. Punched out 4 times. And the 1-2 pushed him back off the plate a little bit. Two on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch, and another foul back. The thing you notice about Jacobs, it seems that he has one swing plane.
Well, he doesn't make an adjustment. That's why you can set your defense pretty much true every time to him, because you're right. He doesn't change his swing. He gets out after it, and if you find that zone, he's like a lot of guys. He can hit it a long way when he does. But he has many more holes and can be pitched to.
Reaches out, punches it past Peralta into left field. Laporta will have no play at the plate.
What's he do? He changes his swing on a breaking ball away and hits it the other way.
The same thing.
How about that?
Well, that's kind of the way it's gone for the Indians today. The Royals have just pecked away all day long. They scored 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and now 1 more here in the 9th. And that's something we haven't seen much of, if at all, from Mike Jacobs in our encounters, is that adjustment to just take the ball the other way. Normally he's swinging from the heels, letting her rip. One ball, one strike. 2 on, 2 out. Top half of the ninth inning. Kansas City with a 7-0 advantage. Caught the outside edge. Too low. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and now activity once again in the Indians bullpen. Kerry Wood's already made 23 pitches. And that's high, full count. It's amazing how many times a manager just tries to get his closer some work, and this kind of situation happens.
Well, it started with the leadoff walk.
Jensen Lewis loosening in the pen. Runners go. Fouled back. So 2 on, 2 out, top half of the ninth inning. And the payoff pitch to Alberto Callaspo. Runners go, swung on and missed. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Royals 7, Indians nothing. Ninth inning, due up for the Tribe, Hafner, Valbuena, and Laporta. And now coming on to pitch for Kansas City is number 53, right-hander Carlos Rosa. Rosa made his first major league appearance of the year just a few days ago on Thursday against Detroit, and after a leadoff single by Maglio Ordonez, Rosa got a little help from his defense. Billy Butler snared a line drive and then turned an unassisted double play. Rosa got out of the inning, notching his first career save. He was 2-8 with a 4.5 ERA in 43 games at AAA Omaha. He had 7 saves. He's a converted starter, working exclusively out of the bullpen this year. Previously, 100 of his 109 minor league outings were as a starter. Travis Hafner 0 for 3 here today. It's a ground ball to second. Willie Bloomquist throws him out. And that'll bring up Luis Valbuena. Luis Valbuena is grounded to first, fly to right, grounded out to second. Stay tuned after the ball game for the Conrad's post-game show. It'll come your way on Sports Time Ohio as soon as we wrap things up. For those of you watching here on Channel 3, BMW Championship Golf comes your way next. Strike to the outside edge. And it's 3-1. Rosa deals, and Valbuena fouls it back, full count. Last of the ninth. As we wrap up this homestand, Indians head out on the road to Minnesota, starting a road trip tomorrow. 3 in the Twin Cities. And then 4 next weekend in Oakland, California. Payoff pitch. Ground ball, right side. Bloomquist is there. He throws, and he got him 2 down. That'll bring up Matt Laporta. Laporta 0 for 3 here this afternoon. Carlos Rosa lets it fly, and Laporta lines one toward right center field, a base hit. Anderson cuts it off and fires it in, and Laporta keeps the game alive.
Well, Laporta gets his first hit of the afternoon and just the Indians' second, believe it or not.
Now Andy Marte. 0 for 3 here today. 1 for 10 in the series. Slow chopper towards short. This should do it. And the game is over. The Royals take 2 out of 3 from the Tribe, winning it today by a final score of 7-0. The win goes today to Kyle Davies, who is now 8-9 on